This is Comic Picks by the Glick.
Hey, and I'm your host, Jason Glick.
Hey, host Jason Glick, how you doing?
I'm doing good, John. How about you?
It's summertime. It's hot. Yeah, I'm doing fine, I guess.
That makes you glad you're indoors recording this, right?
Yeah, that's right. That's right. I just don't want to go outside. But then again, that's not really all that much of a change for me, you know. I don't like going outside much anyway, let's face it.
Yeah.
So, what do you have for us this week, sir?
Okay, well, this week I decided I'm going to go back to the well of one of my favorite comics, actually my favorite comic still being published today, and that's Blade of the Immortal. Because I've been meaning to write up a lot of this stuff, on the main site for a while now. But then I figured, hey, you know what? I think I'm just gonna kill this bird with a stone and just talk about it instead. Okay, because this latest volume, Footsteps, which is volume 22, this is going to be the last volume we get for about another 6 months, because it's currently undergoing a translator change, because Daniel Lewis, who's been translating the series since the very beginning, first with Torrance Smith and then flying solo for the last several volumes. I was told by Carl Horn at Finding Me that her plate is too full right now with other commitments, and like she's gonna be, this is her last volume that she's translating. It's gonna be passed over to Kumar Sivasubramanian, guy who does translations for Eden, It's an Endless World, and PD Psycho, two series that were being published by Dark Horse but aren't being published by them anymore at the moment.
Huh.
So now apparently Dark Horse thinks highly enough of him to give him the reins to translate on Blade of the Immortal. Now, I like his. Generally, haven't had a problem with his translations, but thing is, like, his translations tend to be more along the invisible spectrum, in the sense that I read this and I don't even think about the what's gone into translating. There's not a whole lot of license. Dramatic license like that you see in Lewis's translations, as well as Dark Horse's own Carl Gustav Horn, who basically is the bar as far as, like, hey, if you're going to take liberties with the strict Japanese translation, you have to be as entertaining as him in order to pull it off. Mm-hmm. With Blade of the Immortal, I mean, like, it's definitely got a much more modern voice to it. So it'd be interesting to see how his translation works. But still, I mean, hey, it's going to take more than a simple change of translation to get me to stop reading this series, especially when you get a volume like as good as this one. Because Footsteps, basically, this is the first volume of the next act of Blade of the Immortal. After the prison arc, which I talked about in depth last year, basically, now that that's over, Hiroaki Samura can now get back to the main cast at large. So, like, we get, and apparently there's gonna be like three separate plot threads for this next arc. First, you got Anotsu Kagehisa and the rest of the Ito Ryu. Now that all this business with Kagemura has been settled, they find themselves still kind of on the outs, but also with an ultimatum to get the hell out of Tokyo or face immediate execution by the shogunate. Then you've also got Kagemura himself, who, after being disgraced by the events in the last couple volumes, and also now minus an eye, he has been given 1 month to try and enact his revenge against the Ito Ryu using his favorite method, which is basically condemn criminals from death row. Yeah. Then you've got Manji and Rin, who they're just for the most part taking this volume easy, like recuperating from the events of the prison arc. And also, just finding ways to show how their relationship has changed in the last several volumes. So it's kind of interesting how Rin seems to view all this closeness they've developed as more of a romantic entanglement, while Manji looks at this and thinks that, yeah, you've changed, but I'm still not thinking of you in that way. You still remind me too much of my sister. So, but that particular thread takes the back burner, because most of the focus is on Anotsu and Kagemura, because now it's like Anotsu has a great scene in the middle of the volume where he and his right hand Makie have have a nice noontime meeting with one of the shogun's advisors who wants to try and convince him that you need to get out of Tokyo or else I'm going to kill you. It's like, and he's thinks he has Anotsu trapped in this position by having him surrendered by a bunch of beautiful servant women who are apparently also skilled killers as well. Yeah, of course, Anotsu, being the smooth operator he is, realizes that, hey, you know what? I didn't want to be in Tokyo anyway, so I'm just going to leave. And then as soon as he leaves, the guy tells him, hey, you know, I'm glad we were able to come to an understanding here. And Anotsu just responds by telling him, hey, yeah, you know what? I'm glad too. I hate seeing lots of dead people. See it? Like, the man's a smooth operator. I'm looking forward to seeing where his threat goes. Now, thing is with Kagimura's arc is probably the most interesting because here's a guy who has spent the last several volumes as the chief villain of the series, and now he's thrust into a role that basically has him at a disadvantage. I mean, basically his days are numbered, literally, and now he's got, in order to try and make his life with the world, he's got to achieve his goal of wiping out the Itoryu. Thus into this mix is his illegitimate daughter who wants to prove herself to her father, and so she managed to try and convince him into joining his new group of assassins, the Rokidan. So it's interesting now to see Kagimura in a position, like working from a position of weakness, where he's got to try and where he's trying to find his way, find a way to just to maintain some shred of honor as he marches towards the gallows. And even then, when he gets word that Anotsu is going to leave Tokyo and trick out somewhere else, that'd be the end of his ambitions, because he is forbidden from leaving the town. And so now he's got to find a way to kill Anotsu before he leaves town. So even though I still don't I'm not actually sympathizing with the guy or feeling really sorry for him. It's still cool that someone is making the effort to actually show him as a guy who's struggling with this task. And even though I'm fairly certain he's not going to succeed, it still makes his efforts all the more interesting to watch, because it's just a great. I just love how how someone has all this character struggling to do what to do, even the antagonists. It's a lot of other series I read, all the villains are just succeeding because the writers say that they have to succeed. So, and this, like I said, it just warms my heart to see everyone struggling in order to get what they want. The characters are just that much more interesting as a result. Even better is in the last couple pages, sets up for the next volume, a nice little heart-to-heart between Anotsu and Rin, which, the last time this happened, way back in Volume 4, resulted in the series high watermark, Rin's Bane. So I'm looking forward to seeing what their conversation has to entail. And that's going to be coming in January 2011, assuming that Dark Horse's publishing schedule holds true, which it often doesn't, but hey, we'll see. Anyway, but also this volume also has some nice bonuses in the form of Summer doing a nice 2-page spread showing you what all the what the female cast of Blade of the Immortal would look like in a Gal game. It's a very specific set of jokes but if you've been reading the series long enough, you'll get a kick out of it. Plus, we've got another installment of his weapons shop, which shows you all the crazy weapons he creates for the series. That's cool too. So overall, hey, yeah, everyone here pretty knew that I'm gonna like this volume, but still, hey, it's a great volume. Anyone who's been reading the series so far, you're gonna get a kick out of this, and only rue the fact that you're gonna have to wait until January to find out what's gonna happen next. But if you want to kill some time, then Dark Horse also released a translation of the Blade of the Immortal light novel, Legend of the Sword Demon. This is now the author for this, Junichi Osako, passed away recently, and well, far be it from me to speak ill of the dead, but really, this is one for the completists only. So if you're like me and you love Blade of the Immortal to the death, then you're probably going to get more out of this than like a casual person who's never read Blade of the Immortal before, because the story. I mean, it's basically like a divergent retelling of the first couple volumes when Rin and Manji meet, and you also get this is how they tells the story of how they first meet with a few slight differences. Then they also encounter this really scary monster named Inugami, who was working with the Mugai Ryu in order to kill off the members of the Ito Ryu. And it's got all the major cast members showing up, and to Osako's credit, as well as translator. Let's see, what's her name? Let's see. Damn it. English translation by Camelia Nie. They do a good job of capturing the voice and personality of all the characters, and so no one's really behaving too out of character or too differently from the series. But the problem is, like, I was expecting just a nice little side story, something that actually happens within the context of the manga, because the back of the book just doesn't really give the indication this is an alternate. This is like a alternate history version of the series, and had I known that, I probably not sure if I would have bought this right away. But because ultimately, like, the series, the events of this volume of this book really have no bearing on anything outside of it. I mean, yeah, if he wants to do an entire series based on this, starting with this volume, then hey, more power to them. But still, it's just ultimately very inconsequential, and you're only going to want to pick it up if you really can't get enough of Blade of the Immortal, like I can't. That being said, the most interesting part of the book is Osako's afterword, where he talks about the fact that apparently the alternate history, the divergent storytelling of the book of the novel was actually an editorial mandate from Kodansha. Basically, he said that they had 3 conditions he had to meet. Number 1, the story had to diverge from the original story in the manga. Number 2, not just Manji and Rin, but all of the popular characters, including Anotsu, Makie, Magatsu, and Shira, had to be involved. Number 3, there had to be a powerful enemy unique to the novel. Now, I like that little behind the scenes look at this stuff, and it does make me think that for an editorially mandated storyline, it's not bad, but still, when the thoughts about the making of the story turn out to be more interesting than the story itself, yeah, that's it right there.
High standards, low production.
Yeah, I mean, it's like I said, it's not bad, but it's one for the completist only. Anyway, yeah. Finally, this is and this is something that's not really like a part of the storyline at all. This is the Art of the Blade of the Immortal hardcover that was released by Dark Horse about a month ago. And hey, it's a Blade of the Immortal art book. I mean, like, hey, I'm not really one for art books, but as you have probably gathered from how I talk about Blade of the Immortal in these podcasts, that hey, it's like if it says Blade of the Immortal, I'm gonna buy it no matter what. And it's got a lot of pretty pictures. Most of these were used as covers to the Dark Horse when Dark Horse was publishing single issues of the manga. And like it's even got some of them in color as well. That's nice. But the thing is, like, way back when the Japanese edition of this book came out, I picked that up because, and it's like I just thought this was nice. Now the English edition, it's got some extra some extra pictures in there, as well as an introduction from artist Jeff Darrow, and like a translation of Samura's text afterward in the back. But really, if I had known how little like an English edition would have added to this story, I probably would have just stuck with my Japanese edition, because it really doesn't add. English translation doesn't really add much at all. I mean, granted, Dark Horse's production values for the book are impeccable, and if you don't own the art book, then this is the version to get. still, yeah, I wouldn't say it's worth replacing the Japanese version of the book if you had it. Okay, and on that note, I'm gonna wrap it up because it's like, hey, that's Blade and Immortal stuff I have to talk about right now. I'll be probably back in about. And this story, everyone, if you're sick of hearing how much I talk about Blade of the Immortal, then hey, you're at least free for another 6 months until one comes out.
Gotcha.
Yeah. All right. So until everyone, you just take it easy.
All right. We'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye.